Hello, everybody. I welcome you in another episode of Ask Me Anything session. And today, our topic is all about spotting in pregnancy. And we have Dr. Rachna Dubey with us, all from Madhya Pradesh. So, let me take the privilege of introducing her. Dr. Rachna Dubey is consultant, gynecologist, and a preventive health expert. She is in charge of Health and Wellness Center and Cancer Cervix Prevention and Infertility Clinic at JP Hospital in Bhopal. She has also been a deputy director of Madhya Pradesh State AIDS Control Society. She is also a joint secretary of Indore Organ Donation Society. She is also a master trainer for various flagship programs of Government of India like HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, NHM, Eat Right India, New Year Contraception, Cancer Cervix, etc. She is also a health columnist in various newspapers like Dainik Bhaskar, etc. Dr. Rachna Dubey is also a state nodal officer for maternal health under Project Samagra by Johns Hopkins University, USA. I welcome you, Doctor, on a session, and let's proceed further.
Hello everybody, and once again, thank you for calling me in this session. So I would be talking about bleeding during pregnancy. यहाँ एक तरफ तो हम एक ब्यूटीफुल सी जर्नी से मिरेकल ऑफ लाइफ क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, वहीं दूसरी तरफ इन 9 महीने की जर्नी में कुछ छोटी छोटी डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशंस आती हैं जिनको हमें टैकल करना होता है. Pregnancy is the most precious gift to the women, and if during pregnancy the woman has bleeding, then she actually becomes very anxious. She may start weeping. The whole family, the parents, the in-laws, the husband, they all get scared. So we should know what is the time to go to the doctor and how serious is the bleeding. Bleeding in pregnancy को easy understanding के लिए I'm going to divide it into two parts. एक तो first trimester bleeding, that is in the first 3 months, and then bleeding during the later months, यानी कि third and second trimester. तो pregnancy में bleeding बहुत ही common है और खास है because शुरू के 3 महीने में लगभग 20% of the women have some sort of bleeding. So when I say 20%, it means that 2 out of 100 women who are pregnant, they will have some sort of bleeding. तो कुछ important causes जो first trimester में देखे जाते हैं, इनमें से कुछ तो pregnancy related होते हैं, जैसे कि सबसे important जो देखा जाता है वो है implantation bleeding. So you may experience some normal spotting within the first 6 to 12 days after you conceive. This is because the fertilized egg implants itself into the lining of the uterus, because the lining, और जैसे ये lining जो होती है disturb हो जाती है तो bleeding होने लगती है. कई बार तो you don't even realize that you are pregnant और आपको ऐसा लगता है कि ये period की bleeding है, and because ये लगभग उस समय period की date से coincide करता है जब आपका menses आने वाला होता है. This bleeding usually is very light and it lasts for only a few hours to few days and stops on its own. So there is actually nothing much to worry about in this type of bleeding. दूसरा कई बार ऐसा हो सकता है कि हमारी बॉडी जो है वो उसमें जो हार्मोन्स होते हैं वो प्रेगनेंसी को सपोर्ट नहीं करते हैं, जिसकी वजह से ब्लीडिंग हो सकती है. आपको इसमें कोई घबराने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपको अपने डॉक्टर को जरूर दिखाना चाहिए जिससे कि वो आपको हार्मोनल सपोर्ट से आपकी प्रेगनेंसी को कंट्रोल कर सके, रोक सके, प्रिजर्व कर सकते हैं. आपकी गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट आपको कुछ हार्मोनल टैबलेट्स, कुछ इंजेक्शंस और कुछ वजाइनल पेस्ट्रीज देगी जिससे कि जो हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस हो रहा है आपकी बॉडी में और जिसकी वजह से प्रोजेस्टेरोन हार्मोन की कमी हो रही है वो करेक्ट हो सके. एक होता है जेनेटिक एबनॉर्मैलिटीज, कई बार पेशेंट्स में होती हैं, या कुछ क्रोमोसोमल डिफेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं जिसकी वजह से अर्ली वीक्स में मिसकैरेज हो जाए. इसको ठीक तो नहीं किया जा सकता ऑफ कोर्स, बट ये पता कर सकते हैं कि कहीं ये प्रॉब्लम फ्यूचर प्रेगनेंसीज में ना हो तो हम करेक्टिव मेजर्स ले सकते हैं. कई बार पेशेंट्स कंप्लेन करते हैं कि हमने तो शुरू के दिन में ही डॉक्टर्स को दिखाना शुरू कर दिया था, उसके बाद भी हमें एबॉर्शन हो गया. सो यू मस्ट रिमेंबर एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम दैट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ फैक्टर्स लाइक you could be a cigarette smoker, you could be taking alcohol, certain type of chemicals, long use of contraceptives, your age could be advanced, like if you are more than 35 years of age, or you might be having some sort of autoimmune disorders जिसकी वजह से ये abortion हो सकते हैं. तो एक्चुअली क्या होता है, हमारी जो ह्यूमन बॉडी होती है, इट्स मेड इन सच अ वे दैट देयर इज अ नेचुरल रिजेक्शन ऑफ एनीथिंग विच इज एबनॉर्मल। तो अगर कोई कंजेनिटल एबनॉर्मेलिटी है या कोई डिफेक्ट है तो वो प्रेगनेंसी वायबल नहीं होती है, और ऐसे में क्या होता है, वो अपने आप ही एबॉर्शन हो जाता है। यहाँ पर ये भी बताना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कई बार ये देखा जाता है कि अगर जेनेटिक एबनॉर्मेलिटीज़ की वजह से आपको इस प्रेगनेंसी में अगर एबॉर्शन हुआ है तो ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि फ्यूचर प्रेगनेंसीज में भी आपको यही प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्ट करे। सो सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि आप स्ट्रेस ना लें, आपकी फैमिली सपोर्ट आपके साथ होना चाहिए, और मैं हमेशा मानती हूँ कि आपको अपने आप से ये कहना चाहिए कि ऑल इज वेल। आपने 3 इडियट्स देखी होगी। सो इफ यू आर पॉजिटिव फ्रॉम इनसाइड, इफ यू हैव पॉजिटिव थॉट्स, और आप ऐसा महसूस करते रहेंगे कि सब कुछ ठीक होगा, देन दैट पॉजिटिव एनर्जी एंड द पॉजिटिव थॉट्स, द पॉजिटिव हॉर्मोन्स विच आर रिलीज्ड फ्रॉम योर बॉडी will go to your baby and the baby will grow well. So it is most important that in patients जिसमें recurrent abortions होता है, उन्हें बहुत anxiety होती है, and I come across lot of my patients who have bad obstetric history, 2 months में abortion हो जाता है, 3 months में abortion हो जाता है, multiple abortions होते हैं, so they become very anxious when they conceive. So what is the most important thing I personally tell to my patients is that you must keep positive all the time. Basically, miscarriages are very common in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. But यहाँ पर भी मैं बताना चाहूँगी that bleeding does not necessarily mean that you have lost the baby or you're going to have a miscarriage. In fact, if the heartbeat is seen on the ultrasound, then more than 90% of the women can be very well managed by us. But if you're having strong cramps in the lower abdomen, or if you see some sort of tissue which is passing through your vagina, then of course immediately go and meet your doctor. तीसरा हो सकता है एक्टोपिक प्रेगनेंसी, जिसमें जो फर्टिलाइज्ड एम्ब्रियो होता है वो यूट्रस के बाहर इम्प्लांट हो जाता है, या यूजुअली इट इज इन द fallopian tubes. If the embryo keeps growing and growing, it can cause the fallopian tubes to burst. And these tubes are actually very thin. They don't have elasticity. They don't have endometrium to support the growing baby. So finally, the fallopian tubes burst. And this is actually a serious and life-threatening condition for the mother. But you really don't have to worry again in this condition also, क्योंकि अगर ectopic pregnancy जो होती है वो लगभग 2% से भी कम pregnancies में होती है. And if you're having abdominal pain, if you have missed your periods, or you're having spotting, you are having vaginal bleeding, intermittent bleeding, then you must talk to your doctor and tell all these things to her. She will get an ultrasound done to rule out whether it is a normal pregnancy or it is a pregnancy in the tubes. Fourth, I can say there in some patients there is molar pregnancy also. So what is a molar pregnancy? This is actually a very rare condition. But yes, to complete the list, I would say molar pregnancy does occur, in which some sort of abnormal tissue starts to grow in your uterus instead of a baby growing in the womb. This tissue may rarely become cancerous and can cause to spread in other parts of the body. अगर आपको बहुत severe nausea, vomiting हो रहा है, या आप उसके साथ आपको लग रहा है कि बेबी मूवमेंट्स महसूस नहीं हो रहे हैं और यूट्रस का साइज बड़ा होता जा रहा है, then you must go and consult your doctor to check whether everything is normal or not. कई बार पहले से ही आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम एग्जिस्ट करती है जिसकी वजह से प्रेगनेंसी अर्ली वीक्स में अबॉर्ट कर जाती है, जैसे कि कोई हो सकता है आपके जो सर्विक्स है, यानी कि जो ओपनिंग ऑफ द यूट्रस है जिसको हम सर्विक्स बोलते हैं, वहां पर कोई पॉलिप हो. सो इफ देयर इज अ पॉलिप ओवर देयर विद द एनलार्जिंग साइज ऑफ योर यूट्रस, इट कैन ब्लीड. And we also know that during pregnancy, the uterus and the cervix has some extra supply of blood. So if during this period of time you have a forceful intercourse or you have some sort of lower genital tract infection, then it can actually trigger bleeding. But this type of bleeding which occurs because of infection or because of forceful intercourse is small in amount and is actually not a matter of concern. I would advise that every woman should get certain basic investigations done during early weeks of pregnancy, like her hemoglobin, her thyroid function test. Thyroid function test is very important because hyper and hypothyroidism can also cause miscarriages. Complete blood picture, hemoglobin, ABO-RH grouping, beta HCG levels are also very helpful. Sugar levels भी करवा लेना चाहिए because that can also disturb your pregnancy and cause abortion. लगभग 10 to 15% ऑफ द मदर्स में पहले से ही यूट्रस की जो बनावट होती है उसमें हो सकता है देयर इज सम डिस्टर्बेंस, like there could be a fibroid in your uterus. If you imagine a fibroid, and if there is a fibroid, you understand sort of a gathan type ki hoti which is inside the uterus, and if a fetus is there, then when the fetus grows, the fibroid does not allow it to grow properly, so it can cause abortion in the early weeks. There could be some sort of congenital abnormalities in your uterus also, like what we call is bicoordinate uterus, where the uterus, normal uterus is like this, that bicoordinate uterus, it's something like this, and the fetus grows inside this. So again, it has no space, so it cannot grow and it aborts. There could be septate uterus, there could be a short cervix. Short and weak cervix is very common in few women, which can cause mid-second trimester abortions also. So all these things you don't know, and your doctor knows very well. So certain investigations, certain ultrasound and examination will reveal all these things, and so it's important that you go and talk to your doctor and consult her in the very beginning. Now I would be talking about few reasons where the bleeding can occur in the second trimester, यानी कि second 3 months, fourth, fifth, sixth month, and the last trimester, यानी कि last 3 months of your pregnancy. इसमें जो most common होता है उसको हम कहते हैं placenta previa. So placenta previa is basically a low-lying placenta. In this, the placenta is attached to the lower part of your womb, nearly to or actually covering the lower part of the uterus and the opening of the uterus. So basically now the baby will be blocked and it will not be able to go out of the body. If the placenta is near the cervix or at the opening of the cervix, the baby cannot be born vaginally, so we need to do a cesarean section. Here again I would like to tell कि अगर आपके पहले अल्ट्रासाउंड में प्लासेंटा लो लाइंग आता है तो भी घबराने की कोई जरूरत नहीं होती है, बिकॉज जैसे जैसे यूट्रस का साइज बड़ा होता जाता है द प्लासेंटा एक्चुअली शिफ्ट्स टू द अपर सेगमेंट. At times when it is centrally placed right at the mouth of the cervix, in that situation it may not move up and it may cause off and on bleeding. The bleeding which happens in placenta previa is actually painless, and it's likely that you may be sleeping and you get up and then you see yourself in a pool of blood. Patients say that I did not have any aggravating factor, I did not do any strenuous work, I was not standing for long and I was sleeping and suddenly all this happened. So this is quite common in placenta previa, so it is important to take the advice of your doctor time to time. Second cause of bleeding in the second trimester could be abruptio placenta. Abruptio placenta is when the placenta is attached to the upper part of the uterus, that is, it is attached normally, but it may get partially or completely detached from the attachment at the fundal area, and then that can cause bleeding. The common reasons for the detachment of the placenta could be a sudden blow on your uterus, some sort of domestic violence, or maybe more commonly what I see is the patients come that my elder son jumped on my tummy and then after 5-6 minutes I started having pain and the bleeding also started. In this situation you will always experience some sort of pain, bleeding, backache, and the uterus will be very hard to touch and it will be very painful to touch also. So basically abruptio placenta is an emergency situation, but again मैं यहाँ बताना चाहूँगी कि if you go to the doctor timely, then we are actually very, very well trained to manage all these conditions. Third condition, which is not so common, it occurs in less than 1 in 3,000 births, is called vasa previa. This is a rare condition. In this, the blood vessels of the umbilical cord actually run through the membranes and covering the cervix. Normally, blood vessels जो होती हैं वो umbilical cord के अंदर बहुत ही well protected रहती हैं. But in this situation, when the membranes rupture and your water breaks, these vessels are also torn and can cause vaginal bleeding. This is again a very life-threatening condition for your baby. But अगर आप timely doctor के पास चले जाएंगे तो वो ultrasound से देख सकते हैं कि baby की heart rate fluctuate कर रही है, and then they can identify the situation and an emergency cesarean section can be performed. The next most common sort of bleeding which we encounter in the late pregnancy, which we welcome, is a small amount of blood which is mixed with mucus, and that we call in our medical language as show. So basically show is when a plug of mucus which is sealed into the cervix during pregnancy comes away. And this is a sign that the cervix is actually changing and becoming ready for the labor to start. So it may happen a few days before the contractions start or during the labor itself. So this is a welcome bleeding. Now you would want to know from me what you should do when you have certain type of bleeding. So this is very important. What you're supposed to do. Here I would like to tell you that if there is a vaginal bleeding during pregnancy, this is not common at all. So you have to inform your doctor. You cannot sit back at home and rest and think that everything is going to be okay, because vaginal bleeding in any trimester can be a sign of problem, and you must go to your doctor. You must wear a pad so that you can keep a track of how much you are bleeding. Record the type of blood, like whether it is pink, it is brown, it is red, whether it is full of clots. That's also very important. Also note the number of pads which you have been soaking. Suppose you start bleeding at 3 o'clock in the morning, and by the time you reach the doctor, your 3-4 pads have been soaked. So you must be able to tell all these things to the doctor. So keep a note of all these things. Note whether you are having bad smell, bad odor during the bleeding, any type of cramping pain, any weakness, dizziness. So these points are very important. Also observe whether you are having nausea and vomiting associated with your bleeding. Bring any sort of tissue that passes through the vagina to your doctor for testing. That's very important. And many a times I see my patients, they say that I just put on a tampon. So please do not use tampons when you are having bleeding, and do not have sex when you are still bleeding. These two things are very important. Your doctor will advise you to take rest. So at this point of time, I would advise that you take a lot of rest. Do not travel, do not do exercise. Inform your doctor that if you're having any sort of fever, if you have any history of fall or accident. Also tell if you are having some sort of bleeding disorder, because that could also have been a reason for your bleeding in pregnancy. Bad smell in bleeding, all these small things which I've just mentioned, I think you must be feeling they are not so important, but all these things are very important to be told to your doctor, because these things could actually be a reason for your abortion. Everything actually can be controlled by us if you start the treatment at a very early stage. और ऐसा नहीं है कि हम इसको मैनेज नहीं कर सकते हैं, बट ब्लीडिंग इन प्रेगनेंसी को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से हम मैनेज कर सकते हैं, प्रोवाइडेड वी गेट द पेशेंट अर्लीस्ट एंड द पेशेंट एक्चुअली फॉलोज आवर एडवाइस कंप्लीटली. It's not that everything is so easy with bleeding in pregnancy. Many times we are not able to save the pregnancy in spite of the best of the efforts. And in this case, the doctor will do a DNC. She will give you some medications to complete the process of abortion. She will do a suction evacuation. It's a short procedure. And at the same time, she will also advise you to do certain blood investigations and check that the miscarriages may not occur in the future. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, doctor, for such guidance. I hope many of our users must have got a lot of tips how they can take care of this bleeding, because this keeps on coming. So yes, we do have a lot of queries from the users. So let's start. So very first we have from Deepa. So she's 6 weeks pregnant and she could see very little spotting every 2 days or so. So what can she do, doctor?
She is 6 weeks pregnant.
Yes, and she can see very little spotting every 2 days.
Okay. So Deepa, my advice to you is that if you are 6 weeks pregnant, you must go to your doctor, get certain investigations which your doctor advises you to do. She will give you certain medications. She can give you some pessaries, she can give you some injections. It could be a luteal phase defect, because of which there is a spotting. So do not home treat yourself, go to the doctor, and it could be a simple implantation bleeding also. So I would advise you to go to your doctor, take rest, do not do sex right now, and take the advice of your gynecologist.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Spandana. She is asking, what is the purpose of Ecosprin tablet during pregnancy?
Okay. So how many weeks pregnant are you?
She's 32 weeks pregnant.
Sorry?
32.
32 weeks. Okay.
Yes.
So EcoSprint basically we give in patients whom we feel that they have got certain type of hypertensive disorders or they are prone to having high blood pressure. So EcoSprint basically increases the blood flow, and we can avoid in these babies having IUGR, preterm birth, and we can avoid mother having preeclampsia and eclampsia. So EcoSprint is a good drug which can give in the later months to avoid IUGR babies and to increase the blood flow.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Smita. She's asking, she's having short cervix length. What can she do for that?
Smita,
Yes.
Smita, what is the length of your cervix?
She has not mentioned that. So, Smita, please do mention the length as well. So, till then, doctor, we can move to next query.
Smita, my answer to you is, since we are taking this question, I would like to tell you, Smita, that if the length of the cervix is very short, it is less than 25 millimeters, then we say it is short cervix. But if you are pregnant for the first time, then many a times even short cervix patients can continue till the end and nothing happens, and they can deliver safely and without any complications. But yes, if your length of the cervix is less than 25 millimeters, then you go and show to your doctor. Then she will get an ultrasound done to see whether everything is fine or not fine. She will give you some progesterone support. She will advise you to take rest and continue your pregnancy without a lot of exertion. She will ask you to avoid forceful sex and all these things. So it is better you consult your doctor at this point of time.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Saidi. Can she eat papaya, as some people say it causes abortion and bleeding?
Okay. So my answer to this is, I've been hearing a lot of such things from my patients that papaya causes abortion. Well, the unripe papaya has got certain enzymes. It has got papain. It has got latex, because of which it can cause uterine contractions and may cause abortion and miscarriage. So do not eat unripe papaya. But ripe papaya, of course, you can take because it will relieve your constipation in pregnancy. Beta carotene, it has got vitamin A, B, C, it has got a lot of fiber, so you can continue take ripe papaya. But you have certain things in mind. Number of fruits and vegetables you can substitute from papaya and eat. So if you have got confusion, it's better not to take it. As far as scientifically proven, unripe papaya should not be taken because it causes uterine contractions.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Nilima. She had an abortion last year, and this year, like, she is afraid that this may not happen again, as she is 6 weeks pregnant again, so she is unable to sleep. What should she do in this case?
She is unable to sleep. Okay.
Yes.
So her problem is she has had an abortion. She is unable to sleep, and she has got a lot of anxiety for this pregnancy. So her three problems. First problem, she's unable to sleep. So if you're unable to sleep, Nilima, my answer will be, you must not search Google. Dr. Google से बहुत संपर्क में ना रहें, because you will see n number of things in the Google which will keep on telling you all sorts of things. Just take rest. To allay anxiety, it is important that you do Anulom Vilom, do a lot of meditation. Then you can read good autobiographies of successful people. Before going to sleep, you must listen to light music, which can actually induce good sleep in you. And there is nothing to worry. As I told you in my lecture, that you must tell yourself that everything is fine, all is well. And in this pregnancy, if you're 6 weeks pregnant, go to your doctor, and then she will also reassure you that everything is fine.
Thank you, doctor.
Positive thoughts are very important at this point of time, I feel.
Sure. So next is from Amulya. She's having too much pain near her vagina. Is there anything she can do? She's 27 weeks pregnant.
Okay. Uh, Here I would like to tell you that during pregnancy, during the later months, there is some sort of edema. There are more chances of urinary tract infections. There could be itching. So I would advise you to drink plenty of water. You must go to your doctor, get certain medications. You can apply local ointments to relieve the itching and edema in the genital area. And there is actually nothing much to worry about this because during the later months, because of the physiological edema, because of retention of water, there could be certain edema which could be present and which will go away after you deliver your baby. But I would also advise you at this point of time, get your BP tested. This is important to check out whether everything is fine or not.
Thank you, doctor. Bhavna is asking, is it safe to have sex in pregnancy?
Okay. So, sex in pregnancy, I would like to say it's something very natural and it is normal. In the first 3 months, you may not feel like having sex because of a lot of nausea, vomiting, and early weeks of pregnancy. There are a lot of hormonal changes. So, if you don't feel like having it, don't do it. And in the fourth, fifth, and sixth month of pregnancy, I would say that it's very safe to have sex. And you will also feel like having sex because the sex urge increases during the mid trimester. Forceful sexual intercourse, of course, you should not do. And in certain type of pregnancies like placenta previa, or if you have got a short cervix or weak cervix or low-lying placenta, or in conditions which you have earlier had a preterm baby, suppose, in these situations you must avoid sexual intercourse before, because it can actually induce preterm labor in the later months. So it is very safe to have sex because it is natural, but abnormal positions and forceful sex I would not recommend, and I will also not recommend in women who have earlier had some sort of abortions or preterm delivery. They should avoid in the later months, because that can even the semen has got certain type of prostaglandins and oxytocin hormone which can initiate contractions.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Sina. She had her second TVS scan on 23rd of June and UHG, and it said she's 9 weeks 4 days pregnant, and her scan was completely normal. Today morning, along with the normal white discharge, there was a black discharge too. So just one day, no abdominal or back pain. When she called her doctor, he said not to do anything now and it is okay. She's really tensed about this. What could be the cause of this?
So when your gynecologist has told that nothing to worry about, your ultrasound is absolutely normal, and there was just one spotting and that's disappeared also, so then you don't worry. So leave certain things to your doctor and take rest for a day or two. And if you again observe that there is some spotting again, then go and consult your doctor, because your ultrasound is normal. In the initial weeks, as I told you, 1 or 2 spotting, it could be because of your implantation bleeding. How many weeks pregnant are you? What did she say, Pooja?
She's doctor 9 weeks 4 days.
9 weeks 4 days. I think you can wait and take rest. Everything will be fine. If again you have the same episode, then of course your doctor should give you some medications, some injections, and some pessaries, which will give you a lot of relief.
Thank you, doctor. Dr. Sakshi has to say, like, she has a lot of mood swings and she feels so much low down. So I guess this is the thing which a lot of users must be facing in their, pregnancy. What can be done?
For mood swings, see, pregnancy is a natural process, but since in pregnancy there is a hormonal turmoil, I would say there are a lot of changes which are taking place in the physiology, in the anatomy, in the emotional phase. You are not able to be as normal as you were when you were not pregnant. You are not able to run. You are not able to do a lot of activities which probably you were doing when you were not pregnant. So at this point of time, it is natural that you may have certain mood swings. You may get irritated and you may be longing that when my baby will come out and when I will start wearing the same clothes, I will start wearing and moving and going to parties and becoming normal. So all these things do come in a woman's mind and she becomes tensed. And at the same time, I also, with this question, I've just come to know, I came across a patient today morning who was very worried about a lot of acne and melasma, which had occurred because of a pregnancy, and she was not very comfortable. She was saying, how many more months to go so that I become normal? So because of all these things, because of the changes there, it's natural to have mood swings. But then if you're having mood swings, you have to bear with it, because you're going to have a baby, and that's going to change your life altogether. That's going to be a beautiful gift of God. So you have to bear with all these things.
Yeah. Thank you, doctor. Next is from Anjira. She is running her ninth month and she has lot of acidity and not able to eat much as well. Please advise.
Okay. In the ninth month, as you know, the size of the baby goes really up to the diaphragm level. Your stomach is pushed on one side. So if you are going to have a lot of food, then of course you will have acidity. So my advice to you is you must eat short, frequent meals rather than having one full meal in the morning, one full meal in the afternoon, and one full meal in the night. So divide your meals into small parts. That will help you. Number two, avoid lot of greasy and oily and spicy food. Eat food which is home cooked. Don't eat junk food. Your doctor will prescribe you certain antacids, some liquids, some gels. You have to take those gels, and that's going to line your esophagus so that you do not have belching, acidity, and burning. And again, one more thing I would advise you, once you eat your food, just don't lie down immediately. It's better that you keep on moving for a while, say 10-15 minutes, and then lie down. In pregnancy, the esophageal sphincter is slightly weak, it relaxes, so the reflux is very common in these patients. If you keep on walking for a while and then go to bed, then the things would improve. Some patients do have hiatus hernia in the last month. It could be that you are having hiatus hernia. So I would advise you to walk a while, and then when you lie down, you just don't lie down straight on the bed, put high pillows, wait for some time, lie down like that, and then that's going to improve all these things.
Thanks a lot, doctor. And Vesha has a query. She has short cervix length and she has extreme pain on the left side of pelvic joint. So doctor suggested her bed rest, and she also faced bleeding in her 15th week. Now she is 18 weeks pregnant.
Okay. How short is her cervix, Pooja?
She has
No,
not
she has not.
mentioned.
Okay. So if the doctor has told you rest, then and you have got a short cervix, I think I've answered a similar question earlier also. Then you do take rest. Sometimes in short cervix, the doctors see if the length of the cervix is very short, then they would give you a stitch around your cervix so that if you have got a incompetent os, then there are chances that your baby may abort in the mid trimester. So if you have not been advised the stitches and you have been advised complete bed rest, then you do take complete bed rest and take the medications which your doctor has advised. Get an ultrasound done to check whether the short cervix is causing any damage to your baby, or whether there is funneling, which we see that if the breadth of the cervix is more than 1 centimeter and the length of the cervix is less than 25 millimeters, then in that situation we do advise stitches, bed rest, certain medications. So it is important that you don't wait at home and just show to your doctor.
Doctor, to this, there is one more query. What precautionary measures can be taken when the cervix size is small?
At the level of home, if you are at home, the precautions which you should take is you should avoid forceful intercourse, you should avoid traveling, you should not do a lot of exercises. You must take the medications which your doctor has told very religiously, because in these patients, rest, foot and elevation, in vaginal pessaries, they are very useful. And you must take the guidance of your doctor whether you need a stitch, which is usually given around 14th week, so that the cervix is closed, and then the stitches are removed in the last trimester after 35-36 weeks, so that you deliver a healthy baby. So these are basic precautions. Don't exert yourself. That's it.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Kritika. She's 12 weeks, 3 days pregnant, and doctor said that she has monochronic diagnostic twins. So her blood sample have. Sorry.
I didn't get you.
Let me repeat it. So she has monochronic diagnostic twins.
Twins. Okay.
Yes. So blood sample has been sent for FTS test. So what could be the possible reason to do this test?
Okay. So you have got a monochorionic dizygotic twins. That's what you said?
Yes. Dimniotic. Dimniotic. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, there is one amniotic sac and there are two small sacs inside it in which two small fetuses are lying. So basically you have got a twin pregnancy, and it's important in this twin pregnancy that you get certain investigations done, and that's absolutely normal. It's just to take further precautions in you so that you do not have further complications, and it's absolutely normal to get the investigations done. And in fact, I would like to is it an IVF pregnancy?
She has not mentioned that, doctor.
It's an IVF pregnancy?
She has not mentioned.
Okay, I think it's absolutely okay. So certain investigations are required during twin pregnancies.
Sure, doctor. Amruta is asking how much white discharge is normal in pregnancy.
Okay. See, white discharge in pregnancy is normal. If the white discharge is not associated with any foul smell, not associated with bleeding, not associated with itching, and not associated with burning in urine, then this white discharge is fine. But many times my patients, and a lot of patients, they confuse white discharge to the leaking. It's important that you know whether it is leaking in the later months of pregnancy. And usually in women who become pregnant for the first time, they don't realize that it could be the leaking of the amniotic fluid, and then they think that it is just a simple white discharge. So if you're having a lot of white discharge which is actually wetting your undergarments, then you must get to your doctor. She will do a certain test to identify whether it is a white discharge, a vaginal or cervical discharge, or it is the amniotic fluid which is leaking. So in this condition, I would advise you that if you're wetting your panties a lot, then just show to your doctor. She will be able to identify what type of white discharge it is and whether it is normal or it's not normal.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Pooja. She's 8 weeks pregnant, and doctor has told her that she has elongated gestational sac. So she's worried about it.
Okay. So as long as we have an elongated gestational sac, it is absolutely okay. But the elongated gestational sac should not be a reason for worry. If the sac is zigzag, it is not having a defined margins, it has not got a fetal pole inside it, or it has not got fetal echoes, no cardiac activity, then it is a matter of concern. If your gestational sac is elongated and everything is fine inside it, then nothing to worry about it. A well-defined gestational sac, whether it is round or it is elongated or it is whatever shape, as long as it is turgid and well-defined, there is nothing to worry about it.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Savita. She's 7 months pregnant and she had bleeding in 2nd month, also once in 3rd month. Because of COVID, she was not out much. So what can she do at home to know whether her baby is growing well?
Okay. Pooja, my answer to you is you are running your 7th month. So you must be having a lot of fetal movements at this point of time, and you are not wanting to go out because of COVID. That's something very good, because I keep telling my patients, please do not go out, but do not go for shopping. Do not go to doctors also too frequently, because this is a time where you have to take rest. So how do you know that your baby is growing well? There are two things which are very important. Number one, you at home when you lie down, that is something called fetal kick count, daily fetal kick count. This is the time where you have to take rest. So how do you know that your baby is growing well? There are two things which are very important. Number one, you at home when you lie down, that is something called fetal kick count, daily fetal kick count. That is, you just put your hand over your tummy for 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon, and 1 hour in the night or evening. So 3 times in a day for 1 hour, just lie down and feel the movements of your child. If you are able to feel the movements 2 times in 1 hour in the morning, maybe 3 times in the afternoon, and maybe 2 times in the evening. So basically 3 times, how many number of movements you have felt in each hour, you note down, and then in these 3 1 hour movements, you multiply by 4, so you will get the number of movements in 12 hours. So if you're having at least 10 or 10 plus movements you are able to perceive, then it is absolutely nothing to worry about. That your baby is healthy and it's kicking and it's enjoying in your womb, so don't worry. So if your movements are less than 10 movements in 12 hours, then of course it's a matter of concern. Then you should go to your doctor and get an ultrasound done. Number two, everybody has got a weighing machine in their house. Of course, what you can do is, we tell the patients that in the first trimester you gain around 1 kg. In the next 3 months, you gain about 5 kgs. In the last trimester, you gain about 5 kgs. So total weight gain in pregnancy is around, in a normal pregnancy, singleton pregnancy, it is 11 kgs. So if you are gaining regularly, that's important to tell that everything is going on well and the baby is growing. So these are the two things which you can keep on doing at home. And another thing is, you've got a BP instrument also, then you keep checking your BP. And if your BP is normal, then everything is fine.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Sabrina. She had a cerclage placed at 20 weeks, and at 29 weeks, she felt a lot of poking, and after a few days, the cerclage came out on its own. So after a proper scan and assured that everything was okay, so she came home. Now 32 weeks, and she is wondering how long should she wait to get induced, or is it okay to wait till labor starts on its own? Her cervical length on her 29-week scan was 12 mm.
12 mm. That's a very, very short cervix. Savita, I would advise you complete bed rest. I would also advise you certain medications. Probably your doctor would have also advised, because the gynecologist understand this situation very well. So she must have advised you to take certain medications, certain vaginal pessaries, complete bed rest, no coitus, no sex, no traveling, and unfortunately, your cerclage also came out on 29th week, which is very unfortunate. So I would advise you to wait till your baby attains a certain gestational age where it can actually be able to live on its own. Another thing is, you can ask your doctor to give you injections of dexamethasone 6 hourly for 4 doses, 6 milligrams 6 hourly for basically 4 doses, so that your lungs become mature, and in case of an emergency, if the baby is to be delivered, then at least the lungs of the baby are mature enough and the baby is able to survive well outside your womb.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Prachi. She is 26 weeks pregnant and she had frequent urination today. So she went to doctor, and then in urine test she found UTI, where pus cells are 4 to 6 and epithelial cell range is 2 to 4. So doctor prescribed her for PAN 40 and antibiotic nitrofurantoin for 7 days. Are these medicines safe? Should she take the medicine, as today she is feeling better comparatively? Will it cure with?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Will it cure with home remedies and precautions, as it is mild?
You must drink lot and lot of water, number one. You must also take the medicine which your doctor has prescribed you. You must take an alkalinizer also, like Renalka syrup or something like this, Alkasol. These are very effective in pregnancy. And you have got a mild UTI, which I think will be taken care of if you drink water, if you take an alkalinizer, and nitrofurantoin is fine in pregnancy. So you can take nitrofurantoin for a day or 2, 3, and then it's going to be absolutely okay. As for the pus cells, you said 6 to 7 pus cells and few epithelial cells. So That's nothing much to worry about, because UTI is common in pregnancy. But ensure that you have got a UTI, you can again have a UTI. So keep on drinking lot of water.
Thank you, doctor. Bhanupriya is asking, her cervix is 2.3 centimeter in sonography, and she is only 10 weeks pregnant. So she's worried.
10 weeks pregnant. So if you're 10 weeks pregnant, your cervix is 23. You said 23.
2.3, doctor.
What is the size?
2.3 centimeter.
So 23 millimeters basically. So 23 millimeters is a very short cervix. You are 10 weeks pregnant. If it is your first pregnancy, then you can actually wait. It's not always necessary to give a stitch. You can be given certain medications. You can be given progesterone support, and you can, by complete bed rest, I think things can be managed well. But in this situation, your doctor will probably advise you to go for a cerclage operation, which is quite safe, and it is done usually around 14 weeks of pregnancy. And there are stitches applied across your cervix just to tighten the cervix so that the baby doesn't come out. And at around last trimester, 35 weeks plus, 36 weeks plus, the stitches are opened. And once the stitches are open, you can go into normal labor on your own.
Thank you, doctor.
You must not avoid traveling, avoid sex, take rest, don't do a lot of exercises.
Thank you. Next, we have from Kunjan. She wants to ask, does fever or any kind of infection cause vaginal bleeding in second trimester?
Yes, if you've got fever, if you've got certain type of viral infections, it might not in the second trimester. First trimester, yes. First trimester, if you've got high-grade fever, you have got some type of viral infection, it can trigger miscarriage. But in the second trimester, the baby is well implanted, the baby has grown to a certain age, and the baby is well secured inside the amniotic fluid. It is well protected inside the amniotic fluid and the amniotic sac. So the baby is able to bear the fever, bear the little bit of trauma, bear the infections basically which you are having. So take an antibiotic, take proper precautions, and this 90% in fever, it does not induce abortion in the second trimester.
Thank you, doctor. Next we have from Aarti. She had slight spotting, dark brown in 7th week. So her doctor had a scan and baby is fine. They gave her Gestofit injection as supportive. And in scan it shows sac is slightly small in size. So her question is, will this sac size get normal soon? Doctor asked to get the scan in 10th week, and now she's 8th week pregnant.
So the advice which your doctor has given is perfectly fine, and there's nothing to worry about. Small amount spotting in the earlier weeks is not a matter of concern. The injection which you have been given is perfect, and we will have to wait for 2 more weeks to see whether everything goes and improves. And it generally does improve. It could be sometimes that you are not aware of your LMP. Many times patients are not very sure of the LMP also, last menstrual period. So they have mistaken dates, because of which they feel that it is their 6th or 7th week, but actually it is not the 6th and 7th week. It could be their 4th and 5th week also. So that could be the reason.
Thank you, doctor. Madhuri is RH negative and she is 10 weeks pregnant as well. So she wants to know, is there anything to worry about?
Okay. So Madhuri, if you are RH negative, then just being RH negative is not a matter of concern. It is important that we know the blood group of your husband also. So what is the blood group of your husband? Is it RH negative or it is RH positive? So a lot of things depend on that. So what is the blood group of our husband?
Let's wait for the revert, doctor. Till then, let's move to other query.
If the blood group of the husband is RH negative, and she's also RH negative, then there is nothing to worry about, because the baby which will be born will be RH negative. So if the husband is RH positive, and there are chances that the baby can be also RH positive. So in this situation, in the first pregnancy, if you are pregnant for the first time, it's absolutely nothing to worry about. When the baby delivers, then ensure to take anti-D immunoglobulin injection, which is very, very important. It has to be given within 72 hours of your delivery, in condition where your baby is RH positive. So if you are RH negative, your baby is RH positive, then you have to take an injection, so that in future pregnancies you do not have RH incompatible babies. If your baby is RH negative, and if you are also RH negative, then there is no need to worry about, because then no RH incompatibility will occur and the baby will be absolutely okay. So at this point of time, I would like to advise you to get an RH factor done of your husband to know the status whether he is RH positive or RH negative.
He is RH positive.
He is RH positive?
Yes, doctor. She mentioned.
Then if your husband is RH positive, then in this condition you must tell your doctor about this, and you must also keep in mind that when your baby delivers, you should get the blood group of your baby done also. And if the baby is RH positive, then ensure to take anti-D immunoglobulin injection, which is usually given within 72 hours immediately after birth we give. And if you take that, then there's nothing to worry about in future pregnancies.
Thank you, doctor. Sunita got little bleeding today morning, and it was dark red, and after that it was stopped. So she got worried and took a ultrasound done, and everything was fine in that. She just wants to know, like, what is it, why it happened.
How many weeks pregnant is she?
Doctor, she's 7 weeks pregnant.
7 weeks. So, as you must have heard in talking to me in my lecture, that early weeks of pregnancy, you may have some sort of spotting, which could be implantation bleeding. It could be some sort of little bit of infection, which could have caused this bleeding. And if your ultrasound says that all is well, then please don't worry. Don't have any anxiety. Do not panic. Take rest. Take medications. Talk to your doctor. And spotting in pregnancy necessarily does not mean a miscarriage. In fact, 90% of the times it is a normal pregnancy, and it will continue till term.
Thank you, doctor. In fact, Yamana also had the same query, like 6 weeks pregnant, and she had spotting yesterday and today as well. And what should she take? She was worried.
So basically, early weeks of pregnancy, I think a lot of people are coming with the same type of question, that in the early weeks of pregnancy, if you're having spotting, if you're having bleeding, then you get disturbed. And yes, this is quite common. Even I come across a lot of my patients who have this problem, but more than 90% of them actually do not land up into a miscarriage. Everything is fine, as your doctor may prescribe you. And if your ultrasound is saying that everything is fine, the baby is growing well, then don't worry at all. If your doctor prescribes you certain medications, certain pessaries, then just take those. And usually in the early stages of pregnancy, when the baby has just got implanted, and when the baby is getting nourishment from what we call as corpus luteum, which is produced from your ovaries, there may be certain deficiency in the progesterone. So the doctor gives you progesterone support from outside in the form of micronized progesterone, in the form of injections, in the form of pessaries. And these are quite effective. They are wonderful drugs. And when you take those drugs, then all these problems is sorted out.
Thank you, doctor. Next is from Ayushi, who is 12 weeks pregnant. She is O negative. She has O negative blood group. And doctor has told her that if bleeding happens, then she has to take some injections. Can you please guide her, like, why she has to take injections?
If the girl is RH negative and a husband is also RH negative, or is he RH positive, I don't think there is any need to take any anti-D at this point of time, as long as she is continuing her pregnancy and the pregnancy is going fine. What type of injection she has prescribed? I think the injection which she has prescribed could be for the progesterone support. She must have been given HCG injections. That is basically given to preserve the pregnancy, to support her in the progesterone deficiency. But as for anti-D, just having a bleeding, and if it is a healthy pregnancy and just a spotting and bleeding, then probably anti-D is not required. She might be getting some confused, because doctors are very well aware of this fact. You can ask your doctor. It is your right to ask your doctor what injection is being given to her.
Sure. Thank you, doctor. Sudakshina is asking, is it safe to have sex in 12 weeks of pregnancy, as she had a miscarriage at 8 weeks and now don't know the reason?
So this is a second pregnancy.
Right, doctor.
In the last pregnancy, she had an abortion at 8 weeks, right? And again, she's pregnant, and she's 12 weeks
Yes.
pregnant right now.
Right. And she's asking, is it safe to have sex?
As long, I personally feel, and it's also scientifically proven, that if you're having a regular sex, then it is quite safe and natural in pregnancy. But if you had a miscarriage at 8 weeks, and the cause of miscarriage has yet not been identified, then it is better to avoid forceful sex during this period of time till you attain actually 16, 17 weeks and go comfortably into your second trimester of pregnancy. I would advise you to go into second trimester, 4th month, 5th month, and then you can have sex. Just avoid for maybe 2-3 weeks more.
Sure, doctor. She has one more query. Her TSH is 2.560 at 12 weeks. So is there anything to worry?
Nothing to worry about. That's normal.
Thank you, doctor. Next is Sakshi. She's 7 weeks, 4 days pregnant, and last week some slight brown discharge was there, but doctor gave her HEPOC injection and now she's fine. But her blood test results have shown that thyroid is increased 5.20. Is it okay?
This is not okay. This is not okay. So you must go to your doctor, and she would, according to your thyroid levels, which are quite high, because the thyroid levels keep on, the normal level of thyroid level is not the same as in the non-pregnant stage. In the first trimester, in the second trimester, and third trimester, the thyroid levels are different. This 5.26, which you are saying, is pretty high. So you should be put on thyronorm, maybe 25 or 50, and you should start taking, because hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism in pregnancy could be a reason for miscarriage. So you must consult your doctor and take proper medication.
Sure, doctor. Next, again, we are having similar query from Rahavi. Her TSH is 3.5 at 12 weeks, and she is taking Thyrox 100 tablet. So should she continue that?
Yes, we should continue.
Sure, doctor. And Bhargavi is asking, does bending or standing too much causes back pain or stomach pain? She's 19 weeks pregnant.
19 weeks. So why does she want to do forward bending? She should not be doing so much of forward bending if she's having problem. So I personally advise that if you are having problem in any particular posture, do not do that, because the body itself gives indications of what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do. She must continue to take her calcium, which her doctor must have already prescribed her. Take calcium, take vitamin D, because the baby requires calcium in pregnancy. Just by your diet, you will not be able to fulfill the demand of calcium which is required in pregnancy. So just be regular with taking your calcium, be regular with D3, expose yourself to sunlight for a while in the morning and for some time in the evening, so that your D3 levels are okay, because many a times weak bones are a cause of pain, so backache. So take your calcium.
Thank you, doctor. Archana is 18 weeks pregnant, and sometimes she observes bleeding in her gums. How she can stop it, and will it affect baby?
Bleeding, how many weeks pregnant is she?
18 weeks.
How many weeks pregnant?
Doctor, 18.
18 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think you must take lot of vitamin C so that the bleeding of your gums goes away. Take chewable vitamin C, take lot of lemon, orange juices, all these things, because you might be having scurvy, which is a deficiency of vitamin C, and this is not going to cause an abortion. This is not going to harm your baby. And also at the same time, I would advise you to get your blood test done, get your BT-CT done, bleeding and clotting time done, and get your hemoglobin done. So that will also indicate if you are having any other problem other than just deficiency of nutrients.
Thank you, doctor. So we are taking
You must also ensure to take a soft toothbrush, because usually patients use very hard toothbrush, and when they do brush, it may cause bleeding, because the blood vessels micro blood vessels may leak and it may cause bleeding. So you can change your brush also.
Thank you, doctor. And last query for the session is from Sonali. She has pain after urination in her stomach, and she feels like someone is pulling inside from last 4 days. Today she is having white discharge also. Is it normal? She is 15 weeks pregnant.
She is 15 weeks pregnant. She is having pulling
pain
sensation
just after urination.
Drink a lot of water, take some sort of alkalinizer, and if you're having pulling sensation, get an ultrasound done. I think this is something normal. As the size of the baby increases, it puts a pressure on your bladder. So once it puts 19 weeks is the time when it's just the bladder is, coming up. It may push the bladder, which is located just in front of the uterus, and it may cause pulling sensation in some patients. So I think actually it is 99% nothing to worry about. But if you are so anxious, then you can just get an ultrasound done. I don't think there is anything to worry about it, because this is going to subside once the uterus becomes a bigger organ and grows more in size. It's going to stop putting pressure on your bladder, and things will be okay. Drink a lot of water.
Thanks a lot, doctor, for helping out all the Prega moms here with their queries. We saw you really guided us so well, and it was really lovely hosting the session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, doctor. And thank you everybody for joining us. The remaining queries can be posted in the feed section, where our doctors would take them up very soon. And till then, take care and bye-bye to everybody. Thanks a lot, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor.